Welcome, guys. On today's video, I have rounded up the 6 worst units in the game. Well, not really the 6 worst units in the game, really the worst unit in each rarity. And in each rarity, yep, I picked through the worst unit, and I'm going to explain why I think each of these are the worst unit. There's some room for open discussion, but I do think one or two of these picks are pretty much solidified. But yeah, let's get right into the video. And starting things off, I have Axecat, and Point Axecat's going to go into meh, but Crazy Axecat's going to go into trash. And the reason why is in early game, Axecat is a usable anti-red unit, and not only that, but as a generalist, he works fine because of the low stats the enemies have. But unlike his normal counterpart, Crazy Axe never has a time in the game to shine, only has a couple cat combos, and really doesn't contribute anything. The stats are subpar to be very polite, and as I said, really does not have an opportunity to shine, where at least normal Axecat has the chance to shine in Empire of Cats. But that's the main difference between the two of them. Stat-wise, they're about the same, and in terms of usage after Empire of Cats, they're the same. But yeah, at least Axecat gets time to talk. And I almost forgot to mention, these tiers are only relating to these units in general. So is Filibuster good for being one of the worst 6? Is Luga good for being one of the worst 6? It's relative to that. It's not just is this unit good or bad. It's relative to, is this a good bad unit or is this a bad unit? And a very unfortunate example of a bad unit is Papa Luga. And Papa Luga, when he came out, a lot of people were excited because he had guaranteed curse, he had pretty solid DPS, he had range, and people thought he was promising. The Nika Lugas are flawed with some of the worst Ubers in the game, but they also have some of the better Ubers in the game. So we didn't know which one we were getting here, and we easily got the worst Uber in the set and possibly in the whole game too. But Papa Luga, his curse uptime is not 100%, even with his true form. His health is abysmal. His multi-hit causes him to miss at least one or two of his attacks every time he moves, so his effective DPS is down the toilet. And, he's shown as a brittle old man in that picture, and the picture it portrays is probably better than the unit that you get. It's unfortunate. I'm only going to put him in mid because, there's a couple strategies you might be able to use him in, but yeah, really not much. And there's about a hair or two preventing me from putting him in trash, but I feel kind of bad for doing that. Next is Tinat, and Tinat, I think he's a decent unit out of these bad 6. And Tinat in his true form, with talents, he could become immune to curse, which doesn't help him a whole lot. But interestingly, he can gain the dodge ability, and this allows him to be, for a cheap price, kind of like a Matador cat. So that's pretty interesting. Matador, I overlooked in my earlier Battlecats days, but Matador ain't half bad. And for Tinat being my pick as the worst rare, I do think that helps him possibly bump up a little bit. And compared to, the Axecats and Papa Luga, he definitely doesn't seem half bad. But I don't recommend you guys to get his immune to curse talent because it's a waste. It's not going to prevent him from knocking back many black enemies or anything. So don't go out of your way for that. I would get dodge if that's what you're in the realm for. And yeah, not half bad. And the true form does redeem it from the first and second forms, which are pretty much useless because knocking back blacks, that's a horrible niche. You know what I mean? Really doesn't do anything because they get so many knockbacks. I mean, I don't know. It's like slowing the face down. It's about as useful as that. I slowed the face down, but I slowed him down to his speed. Filibuster is trash. There really doesn't need to be any explanation for this, but I will provide explanation. Filibuster has a ton of range. He can freeze traitless enemies, and that's great, but he has 0 DPS. That's not even the problem. You know what the problem is? He can't attack. He has this long animation. I think he has the longest animation in the entire game. And even if he gets an attack off, it does so little damage, and it does so little that it doesn't even matter. And he's going to get killed before he can land an attack. It's just a waste of 4,350 cents. I mean, it's horrible. And yeah, for the price of an Uber, absolutely abysmal, horrible unit, and I almost put him on the thumbnail instead of Mola Mola, but Mola Mola just got true form not too long ago. It gives him Lil Nandum's range. He has more DPS than Lil Nandum even without talents, and he could even get an 80% dodge ability, so that at least protects him a little bit. So Mola Mola, I don't consider him worse than. Oh, geez, I just confused Mola Mola for Papa Luga as an Uber. That's all right, but that's also why I didn't put him on the list for Papa Luga. But anyway, yeah, Filibuster is worse than Mola Mola, and this is unfortunate. I actually think that Legaluga is a decent bust of a unit, and Legaluga is by a lot of people's standards the worst legend rare in the game, and it's because he kind of acts like Mechabun. He has quick attacks. His DPS isn't horrible, but he attacks very quickly, so he doesn't deal a whole lot of damage at once. He just kind of like punch here, jab here, flick there, and doesn't do a whole lot. But he also lacks he lacks a trait. He's built to be a generalist, and he's not a generalist. His stats aren't generalist material. He has the stats of like a Euron wolf, but he has no range, and it doesn't work for him. He gets evaporated before he can do any real damage. And it's, as I said, it's like sending out a Mechabun, and we all know about Mechabun. You could make a case for him being worse than Filibuster, but it would probably be a bad case. Filibuster is worse. Just Filibuster. At least Mechabun can get a few attacks up before he dies. Probably deal 50,000 damage, and you send another one out if you really want to. Filibuster is horrible. And Legaluga, if you have any legend rare, no legend rare is awful. Legaluga isn't horrible, but underwhelming. He needs a trait or two to target, and he needs a rework in his DPS. But this is my list on the worst units in the game. And, comment down below what you think. But before I go, I want to share some exciting news with you. And I just opened up my memberships. So you guys, the viewers, are entitled to signing up for a membership. And it's very simple. It's on the dashboard. There's a join button, and I have Lil Spartans and Spartans $1.99 and $4.99 a month respectively, and it gives you a ton of perks. It allows you to get exclusive videos, exclusive live streams, exclusive shorts, early access to stuff, and a million other things. I have custom emojis, custom stickers, everything, super chat, and I think it's going to be really fun getting to interact with you guys. I can't believe this is actually happening. This is like a fever dream of what I thought a couple years ago, but here I am. And it's totally optional. If you're not signing up, that's totally cool. You don't lose any features. You just go on with your day. But if you'd like to consider becoming a Spartan or a Lil Spartan, please look into it. It's on the main dashboard under the join button, and you'll see both options. But anyways, if you guys made it this far into the video, much appreciated. And yeah, if you guys agree, disagree with any of the rankings, have anything to say, leave it down below in the comment section. And also, don't forget to turn notifications on. Like this video, and subscribe if you really did. But anyways, Spartan Cat signing off, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.